Hello everybody and welcome to DRL TV. I am your host James Pandoff. At this moment I will be doing this broadcast alone, so please bear with me. Right now we are underway with qualifying for the DRL iRacing Cup Series here at Kentucky. Tonight we will be doing 133 laps on this 1.5 mile track under the lights. As you can see right now we are focused on Gary Cronenwet doing his qualifying times. Starting his second lap right now, he's currently listed first with a 30.298. As he heads down the backstretch here, entering turn 3. Lap time's looking pretty good. Coming off of turn 4 now. He's going to duck it low right to that yellow line onto the apron, and he crosses the line and he sets a lap time of 30.215. So far that is good enough for first, but we still have just about 3 minutes left in qualifying. Let's see who else is setting a time right now as we cycle through the field. We see Wade Husted on track. He's coming to complete his second lap, currently fourth. Let's see if he improves. And he does, moving him up to second with a 30.239. Great lap time for him. Let's see who else is on track. Joseph Helt, currently third with a 30.404. So he's coming off turn 4 now. He's going to dive it down onto that apron, try to cut as much of the track he can legally, and his lap time improves, bumping him up to the pole with under 2 minutes remaining, a 30.138 by Joseph Helt. Taking a look at Logan as he's going to exit pit lane to start his lap times. Let's take this on board with him while he does his qualifying lap. As you see him cross the lap to begin the lap now. He's going to get very close to the wall, and he's going to take the middle here, it looks like. A little bobble there, that's not going to help him for his qualifying time. Great job keeping it off the wall there as he heads down the backstretch in turn 3. Very lightly out the gas, not much throttle. Sorry about that, I had to cough. Crossing the line, he sets a lap time of 30.793. Working a second lap here onto the back straight. Gonna have 35 seconds remaining. He should have enough time to complete his second qualifying lap. Coming out of turn 4 now, he's looking pretty good. Going across the start-finish line now. And that moves him up to 5th with a 30.244. While we were watching him, Eric Wolf has now taken the pole with 10 seconds remaining, so he should be out pole sitter tonight. As you see, Richard Lucky there, he's going to be starting near the back of the field tonight. Alright, so let me see if I can pull in our pole sitter for a quick interview. There he is, Eric Wolf. Hey, Eric Wolf, this is the broadcast booth. You have a copy?
I got you, JP.
Well, I'll start on pole here tonight at Kentucky. Going to be running under the lights here tonight. walk us through your game plan tonight.
Really, it's just going to come down not making any mistakes, trying to make sure you maintain your track position because it is very difficult to pass. That's what I'm hoping to do. Be solid on pit road, not make any big mistakes where I drive into your deep, trying to defend, and just hope I can maintain track position. Obviously, if I'm first, but we'll see how it goes here. It's really difficult to pass.
Alrighty, well, through practice, who are you most concerned about tonight possibly beating you as you're currently on pole? Anthony Burrows, he's been very fast throughout the season, starting second.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the usual guys. Don't have to worry about Burrows, Hustad, Logan McCanley. He's always really fast. I mean, it's really hard to say. You get track position up here, work the strategy a little bit, and it might be somebody who we don't expect winning this thing. But yeah, track position is going to be really key.
Alrighty, Eric, well, we're about to roll off here. Good luck tonight, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to you at the end of this one.
All right, thanks, JP.
And that was our pole sitter tonight, Eric Wolf, in that number 24 K&N Chevrolet. As you see here, the pace car is bringing the field onto the track surface. They're only going to have one pace lap, and then we'll be going racing. As we take a look through our starting grid, Eric Wolf is on pole. Anthony Burrows will be starting second. Joseph Helt is third. Gary Cronenway in that number 10 will be starting in fourth. Fifth place is Wade Hustad. Logan in the 88, rookie here to DRL, starting in sixth. Chris Lucky, multiple-time winner this season, starting seventh, and Thomas Harmon, eighth. Mike Harmon will be starting ninth. Adam de Blasio, 10th. Spencer Todd, 11th. Richard Lucky, 12th. Jim Westerfield in the number 4 will be starting 13th, and Taylor Butchie Benjamin will be starting 14th. Bill Edwards, Grand National Series regular, starting 15th, and Chris James starting 16th. John Mullins, 17th, and Connor Lane will be starting 18th, and rounding out the field is Jeffrey Meyer. As we are underway here at Kentucky, Eric Wolf with a great start. Going back to second place battle, Joseph Hull looking to the inside, getting a great push there by the 32 Wade Hustad, making it look easy as Wade Hustad should be able to clear Anthony Burrows as they head onto the backstretch. Oh, into the wall already, the 10 and the 88. No caution yet. And there it is. Caution is out on lap number 1. Let's see if we can get a replay of that. So it looks like the 10 just gets into the wall there and comes back down across the track, and the 88 had nowhere to go. Let's see if I can get a chase view of that. We're on board with Gary Cronenway, the number 10. As you see, he just gets into the wall and turns too far left, and the 88 had nowhere to go there. See one more time as we're on board with Logan, and this is what he sees. Just nowhere to go. He wasn't expecting it at all, and it just took him out, and his night is more than likely done. As we have people pitting already. Looks like mainly the guys in the back of the field. You can see Logan with his nose completely torn off, and right behind him is the number 10 who ended up in that wall coming across the track. As we take a look at our take a look at Eric Wolf pacing around the track. Let's see if we can pull in. Joining us tonight will be David Wright. Hello, David. Do you have a copy?
Yes, James. How are you this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for joining me for tonight's Cup Series race at Kentucky. Right now we had an incident on lap 1, and we are currently pacing under caution. Eric Wolf started on pole and currently leading this one.
Yeah, I was watching. I saw that. That was that's hard for the 88 to get taken out this early, that early in a run too. So it's all it takes is just a minor mistake, and you collect someone else and ruin their race. Nothing intentional by the 10 by any means, but so goes racing sometimes.
Absolutely, and for those that don't know, you are a Grand National Series points driver this season. What can you take from tonight's race and bring into your own for tomorrow night?
I'm not sure. I ran a couple of the NIS races in this car and on this track last week. It's a really good setup. You start out with the low lane, and then usually the middle lane will come in. It's going to be interesting. These Cup cars have more downforce now than the Grand National, so I'm not. It's going to depend on how the setup reacts and how the weather is, on how slick it is. I pretty much expect the same thing. It's going to be at a low line, and then maybe probably the middle and high line coming in. There's so much difference with the downforce that you just can't take a whole lot. These cars are so much less power this year and so much more downforce that it's not a true comparison. It's hard, the Grand National car is a little harder to drive than these Cup cars are.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that NASCAR brought into the 2019 package with the downforce and the lower horsepower, and I feel like the Grand National Series definitely has a lot more difficulty when it comes to handling their cars. Not to take anything away from this Cup Series, because all of these guys are fantastic at what they do, and it is not easy to drive a Cup car at all.
No, it's not. And one thing I can tell you from running this car last week is it's very difficult to pass. They're so even. They're so evenly matched. It's a lot harder to pass than it is in the Grand National car. The Grand National car, because I guess the less downforce is, you have a lot of different varying strategies, and it's a little easier to pass the tire wear. For these cars, in the long run, it can get very difficult to get around sometimes.
As the field is double stacked as they head into turn 4, we're about to get back underway.
Yeah, we'll see here how this. Hopefully, it'll get a little more racing in on this run. Curious to see how things are going to play out. I expect everybody's going to go to the bottom on these first opening laps, and probably 5 to 10 laps in, I expect you'll start seeing that second lane come into play.
Great restart there once again by Eric Wolf as he's crossing the line first. Joseph Hellis getting a nice push by the 77 there on the outside lane, going to try to get around Wade Hustad as they enter turn 1.
Yeah, I'm a little behind you. I don't have the actual live. I'm having to watch the broadcast and utilize that myself. So I'm a little behind on everything, but Eric Wolf got a great jump on this restart, just like he did on the first start of the race.
We see Anthony Burroughs coming off of turn 4, looking to the inside of Wade Hustad. He's going to try to take second away as right behind them. Wow, Wade Hustad cuts the nose off the 62. Luckily, there was no contact there. That could have been pretty ugly.
See the rest of the field's about 2 wide all the way back through the remainder of the field. Eric Wolf doesn't have quite the lead he had. Still has a pretty good lead from that jump he got on the restart.
As the top 5 seem to single file out, we see Adam de Blasio in that 25 work his way around Chris Lucky in that 77. The first pair side-by-side would be Thomas Herman in the 68 and Richard Lucky in the 41. That is a battle for 7th.
I imagine they're going to get single file and try to ride a little while and try to get some lap laps turned in before they get to the race.
Absolutely. Still a long way to go. Only leading lap 8 of 133 tonight.
Yeah, you got to get some laps turned in. You're not going to win it in the first 120 laps. So you got to get some laps under your belt and just let things work themselves out for a while.
As we see a nice battle here between the 28 of Spencer Tar and Mike Lemon and the 38. They've been side by side for about a lap and a half now. Spencer Tar able to get around him. This opens the door for Bill Edwards to try to work his way around.
Yeah, and you see Spencer on that high line. That's where I think as you keep the momentum up with these cup cars, use that second lane and sometimes that third lane, especially in 1 and 2, they can give you a good drive off down the back straight. Looks like they're too wide back in the back of the pack, but most of the field's all single file now. Got back to about Bill Edwards in the 75.
Yeah, we see John Mullins in that Exide Batteries paint scheme. He's just abiding his time. He started 17th, currently 15th. Killing off the laps as we go.
Yeah, I just don't think nobody in the backs right now is wanting to push it too hard. It looks like everybody's back here is kind of just taking their time. They're not getting single file, but they're not really racing each other too close.
Going back up to our leader, Eric Wolf has about three-quarters of a second lead over Anthony Burroughs. He's just on autopilot right now, it looks like.
Yeah, these tires, they'll give you a good 10 to 15 solid laps before you really start getting into the car really starts to push, especially off of 2, and that's where they're going to have to be mindful and watch things as they come off of 2 watching that wall. But he has definitely opened up his lead since the restart of this race. 12 laps now, 133 in the book. Eric Will seems to be just gradually but slowly extending his lead a little bit. Burroughs and Hustad close behind in second and third. I think they're just riding. I think they're content where they are, just riding, turning off some laps until they get to either a caution or the next green flag pit stop.
Absolutely, they're in great position right now, just trying to stay out of trouble, run these laps down. Looking in the back, it looks like Taylor Butchie Benjamin got around Chris James on that 82. That is for 12th.
Yeah, those two are teammates. I don't imagine they were putting up much of a fight with each other. I know Chris, he was probably realized that Taylor was a little bit faster, told him to go on ahead. Again, just trying to turn some laps here and get some of them in the book, get racy later. No point ruining your car and hurting it at this point in the race. Long ways to go. You notice it looks like about the whole field's now about single file.
Yeah, I think our closest battle would involve the 41, 68, and 28. This is a battle for 6. Thomas Herman looking to get around Richard Lucky. It looks like he's had a bit of a better run off the corner. He's going to almost get to his back bumper entering turn 1. He had to let off a bit there as we see the 10 of Gary Cronenware has that in the pit lane.
Gary's probably still got some damage from where he tapped the wall earlier. I'm sure he didn't get it all repaired. He's probably still got to a point where he had to having to go in and get some more repairs, or he may be at a point he has to retire. I'm not sure which. As
we take a quick look at his vehicle, yeah, his hood is completely off. Excuse me. It looks like he did have significant damage. He might have even blown up.
Yeah, he come down and T-boned that 88 really hard. I mean, it's off, but unless his motor's blown, it's not undrivable.
As we take a look at that battle, Thomas Herman finally getting under Richard Lucky. He's going to be the first one across the line. He might have the advantage entering turn 1. Is Spencer Tart also looking to the inside of Richard Lucky?
Now's about the time when the tires start to indicate that you're getting some wear. Your center corner speed starts to slow down. You start noticing the push in the car a lot more. So the line that you take, the momentum you can carry, will play a big part. And they're going to get a little more racing now with big numbers and goals.
Chris Lucky getting in the mix, getting beside Spencer Tart as they cross the start-finish line.
Good side-by-side battle going on there as they, like I said, I'm a little bit behind on the view I'm having to watch, but that was a good side-by-side battle. Spencer Tart did end up getting a position on that, and I'm curious to watch to see if how that second line, that second group starts coming in now, 1 and 2. If anybody will take advantage of it.
While we've been watching this battle, looks like Anthony Burris has finally caught up to Eric Wolf as he's only a tenth behind him, putting the pressure on him early. Wade Hustad.
Sure has. He's within a tenth and a half of him, running down.
Wade Hustad just hoping they can get side by side so he can get his nose into the mix.
I think he's got his nose in the mix. He's just sitting back there waiting to see what's going to transpire. But Anthony has definitely run Eric down, that's for sure. And like I said, those tires are starting to show the wear now, and they're going to really start developing a push coming off these corners. You can want tires on this track. You can go no more than 5, 10 laps, and you want fresh tires. It makes a difference in the speed. You start getting 15, 20 laps on your tires, and you start noticing a big difference in the way the car handles. And I'm watching Anthony now trying that bottom line. Bottom line just doesn't seem to get the drive off that second line has. And I imagine that Eric's going to probably hold that second line and make Burrows take that low line and see if he can get around him that way.
As it looks like the whole field is single filed out, we're going to stay focused on the leaders. Anthony Burris might be backing off, cooling off the tires so he can have a second chance to get by Eric Wolf.
Yeah, you can throw a blanket over those top 3 now. That big lead that Eric did enjoy there for about 20 laps has definitely gone away now.
Now, do you think that was something Eric Wolf was pushing really hard to get that lead, while Anthony and Wade were just laying back, and Eric spent up his stuff, or do you think?
It's a possibility. He could have been driving hard. The other 2 could have been just taking it easy, knowing how the tires were going to come in and how the push was going to develop. It also could have been Eric just knows a little bit faster line on those fresh tires. I'm not sure which, but regardless, they have closed the gap, and they're right there on his tail. There's a pretty good gap, a little gap now back, to 4th and 5th. So those top 3, but it's, even 4th and 5th are closing up. Eric's definitely not running away with it now like he looked like he was in those first 20 laps.
As you see, Anthony Burris is now trying to use that middle low line. He's not quite on the bottom like he was a few laps ago.
Yeah, you get a lot more drive off turn 2 with it, that middle lane. But you got to deal with the guy in front of you who's there. You've got his dirty air to contend with coming off his car, so it can make it a little more difficult. But it is a faster line as these tires do wear. And I'm watching the view I'm watching. Our Burrows is trying that low line in 3 and 4. Oh my goodness, he started sliding up. I thought there for a second he was going to get to the back of Wolf, but he backed off and slid in on behind him. I would imagine if we had had something, a statistic or a screenshot to show the lap times from the start of the race till now, I would bet you they're over a second slower than what they were when they started this run.
Well, what I can tell you is Eric Wolf's best lap was a 30.322, 332, excuse me, and his last lap was a 31.972. So a little, almost 2 seconds slower than their
fastest lap. Yeah, I'm watching on the broadcast. I'm watching right now, and I see Burrows. He is so underneath Wolf. He just can't get quite the drive off. He is giving it a run for the money, but just can't quite get there.
They are side by side off of turn 2. Eric Wolf is hanging tough as we see Wade Hustad pushing him into 3, trying to give him that momentum to get back around the 62 of Anthony Burrows.
He's down on the side. Is he going to make, if he can get enough turn in on 3, he has got him on this one. But I just don't know if he's going to have enough drive.
So far he does, as Wade Hustad is now to the outside of Anthony Burrows.
I think Hustad's going to probably be able to get that spot over Burrows. That high side, that higher line gives you more run, but looks like right now Wolf is the slower car of the 3 and actually holding the other 2 of them up.
I have to agree with you there. It looks like he is the slowest. It's Wade Hustad's going to look to his inside as they cross the start-finish line now. Going into turn 1, Wade Hustad might be able to clear him, but as you mentioned, that high side does have that momentum coming off the corners.
Yeah, it does have a much better drive. They are putting a gap on 4th and 5th. Looks like probably a couple second gap back to them. He may. Is Hustad going to have? I think Hustad's going to have Wolf this time.
He did, but Eric Wolf with a nice crossover puts him back side by side. Wade Hustad with the advantage as they cross the line.
Yeah, that was a very nice crossover move. Very nice. That's what you got to do. You got to take advantage of what you can. They're all being awfully racy up front now with only 30 laps, 31 laps now of 133 in the book. Still got 100 to go.
Wade Hustad able to clear him. Eric Wolf shut the door on Anthony Burrows, but Burrows ain't having it as he's looking to the inside of turn 3.
I'll be curious to see now how far if they're going to run the tanks all the way dry on this first run, or if anybody will choose to pit early and try to get some advantage of fresh rubber on their car.
Yeah, tires are going to be important here with 2 seconds already off the pace of their fastest lap. Just shows you how much these tires matter.
Oh, yeah, it makes a big difference. You know, you gamble. Somebody decides to come in early and try to get advantage on some fresh tires. You're taking a gamble. You're going to go at least a lap down, hoping a caution doesn't come out before everything gets to cycle back around. But the person that does take pit first is going to have some advantage of that fresh rubber for quite a while and make up some track position.
Things seem to have settled down for the meantime. Eric Wolf sitting in second. As we go back to 4th place, Joseph Heltz get in a nice battle there with Adam DePlazio, as he's side by side now coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, I'm noticing Hustad's pulling out now. Once he got around Eric, he got him a good second lead. DePlazio is trying to get around at 0-2 of Heltz.
Not quite able to do it.
Yeah, that's that. You just can't get that full drive off that bottom groove once your tires get wore.
Wade Hustad about 0.6 of a second lead over Eric Wolf and Anthony Burrows now. Less than 100 laps to go as Wade Hustad crosses the line to complete lap 34. Oh, caution is out.
Caution.
Might have been the 28 of Spencer Tart. Let me see if I can. Yeah, he is slow. Let me see if I can see what happened. Coming off of turn 4, it looks like, he and the 77 made contact, and Spencer Tart just not quite able to save it. Let me see.
They're all going to be coming on the pit road, that's for sure. They're all going to take 4 tires and fuel. It looks like maybe the 77 come up and got into the side of the 28.
That is exactly what he did, as we just saw the sheet play in the far chase view. Spencer Tart not quite able to save it. He goes around, but nice job not increasing the damage that he earned on that vehicle.
Yeah, he shouldn't be hurt too bad. It wasn't too hard a contact. He should be good to race. I don't see no major
Oh,
damage.
something going on. 75 of Bill Edwards went around. Let's see if we can see what happened there. Yes, sir. Trying to get to that. Might have gone too far. Let me see if I can go next lap.
Did he catch up to the field and hit the brakes too hard?
I think that might have been what he done. Let me, we're looking at him now. They're coming off of turn 2 to catch the field. Downshifted. You can hear him downshift. Yeah, that is exactly what he did. He slammed on the brakes and it broke him loose.
Got a little too much rear brake bias in that car.
He did not hit anything, so that is the good news for Bill Edwards, not hitting anything.
Yeah. Just his rate of closure on the back of that field was caught up to him. But luckily, he didn't hit nobody. He didn't hurt nothing.
A nice race. Nice race off pit road, almost 3 wide, as Eric Wolf able to beat the 62 and the 25 off the pit lane.
Yes, so you've got the live race view where I've got the race feed, and so I'm about a half a lap behind you.
Wade Hughes did not have a great pit stop. He's all the way back in 4th.
Oh, wonder if he overslid his box or something.
We can try to see what happened as we see him coming down pit lane now.
Yeah, de Blasio definitely got him, got out on the track.
Oh yeah, he overslid his stall.
Overslid.
Yep.
Not hard to do. I know I've been guilty of it a few times.
So that's going to give Eric Wolf that lead once again.
Yep, just barely overslid it. They're double filing up, getting ready for the restart. They're probably about 3 in turn 3 and 4 on your view.
I'm going to pull in Wade Hughes for a quick interview while they still have a couple laps left on pace. Hey, Wade Hughes, this is broadcast booth. You have a copy?
10-4.
Well, Wade, looking at the replay of your pit stop, it looks like you slid through the box a bit, and it's now put you back to 4th place.
Yeah, we slid through it with those old greasy tires. They, kind of locked up and we slid through the stall. So, not too much to worry about. We're kind of in the same boat at the start of the race, so we're just going to kind of ride it out and see what happens. And I think the outcome will be roughly the same. Where we got the long run speed.
Well, you definitely had that. You ran Eric down. He took off and had a pretty good little gap on you and Burroughs there, but y'all definitely ran him down, and then you actually got by him and took the lead there before that caution came out.
Yeah, that was kind of the strategy, is just not to try to burn them up right away. The car is really, really tight when you're behind in that disturbed air. And I think the key is to let the tires wear and hopefully kind of pounce when the opportunity is right, and that's what we did this last go-around. So we just got to get that lucky shot again.
Well, good luck to you getting back up there. I know you got the speed to do it.
Hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, Wade, we'll put you back down, and hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of this one. Good luck.
It's going to be interesting. That's the one thing when when a fast car gets moved to the back, it always creates some excitement watching them getting back to the front.
It does indeed, as the pace car is going to pull off here in a few seconds as they enter turn 3. One driver I'm pretty impressed with right now is Adam Blasio in the 25. He hasn't ran that many races with us this season in the Cup Series, but looking for his first win. I think tonight could be a chance for him to do so.
Yeah, being that I haven't, called as many races I'm not a part of the Cup Series, I'm not familiar with where everybody runs. I do know who the fast guys are, and there's some guys in the back that I know are fast. And I'm waiting to see if they're just biding their time or they just don't have a handle of this setup. So we know there's fast 3. I'd like to see if there's a couple more other players that are going to come into this, Eric. I see getting a jump again on that restart.
Yeah, it looked like Anthony might have had an issue on that restart as he's dropping back to almost 4th now as Joseph Holt is to his inside, getting a nice push by the 68 of Thomas Harmon.
Yeah, it looked like Hustad about pushed him, trying to get him to go, almost like he missed a shift. You would think his tires spun, but on new tires, I wouldn't imagine that would have been the issue.
Everyone able to work it out as Adam LeBlazer is now in 2nd. Anthony Burris looking to the outside of Joseph Holt, trying to regain those positions he lost on that restart.
Blasio is making a bid for the lead at this time. He's right on Wolf's bumper. Helt's right there too. The top 5. That definitely didn't pull away quite as much this start as he did the last one.
He did not. You are correct. As it looks like those two are going to have a little bit of gap on 3rd on back. Anthony Burris, Wade, he's able to get around the 0-2, who actually might have had some trouble coming off that corner as we see the 68 getting around him. And 75 of Bill Edwards side by side with him coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, it just looks like he tried to turn that corner a little too tight and lost some of the drive off, where those others had a little bit higher, get a little better drive, using a little bit higher lane, and the advantage of the draft too with these cars. You get a mile and a half with the drag package that's on them, you do get a good draft.
One driver we haven't really mentioned tonight, Connor Lane in that 5. Side by side with Richard Lucky, that is going to be for 8th place if you can successfully pass him. Rich is hanging tough.
Yeah, Bill Edwards is still up there. It don't look like his will spin. Spencer's still up there in the mix. So the damage that brought out that last caution doesn't seem to be affecting any of those cars that were involved. They seem to be running just fine still. File through about the top 7-8 cars, then get too wide on back in the pack a little bit. Seems to be where the bulk of the action is.
Yeah, that's Taylor Butcher Benjamin in that 8, trying to work his way past Mike Lemon. He's been stuck on his outside for about 2 laps now. Chris James right behind him.
Butcher Benjamin, PBB, he's got talent. He's a good racer. So is Chris James. Again, I just think them running this far back is just track position makes a important part. And I think if they can get some track position, they could be contenders as well. Be interested to see if they do use any strategy as this race unfolds to get themselves some track position. They've been side by side in that little group now for a couple laps.
I think Mike Lemon had enough as he let both of them get past him. As we're going to look back up to the front, Anthony Burris has joined him, and as you stated earlier, you can throw those top 3 under a blanket.
Blasio is hanging tough. I mean, he's only a little over a tenth back from the leader. He's having a good run on this second stint. Burrows is right there. Hustad, he's a little bit back. He isn't making that run. I think he's just biding his time, like he was saying, wait until the opportunity presents itself, and then he'll, make that charge. He's just not going to push it and burn his tires up too soon. like about the whole field now, single file. We're turning lap 48 of 133. We got about 10 laps, so a little over 10 laps, right around 10 laps since they had the last caution. Tires are starting to show that little, the cars starting to develop that push. We'll start slowing down. Center corner speed is going to be a lot slower. So I'll see who can maintain the most momentum. That's who's going to be able to maintain their speed.
As we got on board with the 25 of Adam de Blasio, we can see Eric Wolf is using that middle line and through both corners, as Adam has been using the low line.
Yeah, the low, like I said, the low line is the fast way. But as those tires wearing that push, that second line does come in, and it can really create a lot more drive off the corner. Just have to see if it presents. Right there, you can see him getting drawing in on the 24. Now there's 5 cars in that. You just about throw a blanket over. It's really anyone's.
Oh, Anthony Burris in the wall. Burris hits the wall coming off the corner. He's going to lose 2 positions. Looks like he's able to regain it without going too far back, but now down to 5th place.
Yeah, that's that push that starts developing in these cars. You have to be mindful of it. Luckily, I don't think he hit it too hard. It's going to really hurt him that much. I'm sure he's got a little right fender damage, but I think he'll be all right. I don't think it'll be anything that's up too bad for this race.
Yeah, you can see that little crease on his right front fender. Not too bad. He should be all right.
Oh yeah, he just gave the wall a love tap is all. He'll be all right. Won't be able to affect anything. Rubbed the lettering off those right side tires is about all he did.
Joseph Helt looking to his inside, trying to take that 5th spot away.
I'm surprised that none of the front runners have not ventured up above. You know, they're running about that middle, about a lane and a half up off that turns 1 and 2. I'm really surprised I haven't seen any of them go up to that second lane yet.
Going back to the battle for the lead. Wade Hustad's putting a lot of pressure on the 25 as he's going to look underneath and try to take that 2nd spot away, entering turn 1.
Wade's car is showing a lot of long run speed tonight. He's going to be hard to beat if this thing turns into a long green flag run. He's going to definitely have a position on the 25 coming off the 2 for sure. I see that put the 25 up in that higher groove and gave him a little bit better drive coming off. Eventually somebody's going to see that, and they're going to start using that lane regularly over there in 1 and 2.
Looks like we have 2 groups of 4. We have the front 4, and then 5th through 8th is another set of 4 as Joseph Helt leads that pack. Make that 5 is kind of lanes entering the picture right behind Richard Lucky.
Things have definitely picked up in that front group as the tires have worn down.
I think that hitting that wall has definitely done some damage to Anthony, as the 75 of Bill Edwards is now looking to his inside. Anthony shutting the door, entering turn 3.
I have to agree with you. It's definitely affected his handling in some way. May have gave him more push. I'm not sure which. It could be some aero, compromise now, but it's definitely slowed him up some from where the speeds he was or what he was able to do earlier before he touched that wall.
As we're on board with the 75 of Bill Edwards. Looking to the inside of Anthony as they enter turn 1. He might be able to clear him entering the back straight.
It's hard if he can get
Wow, he just closed that door on Anthony.
Slam the door, do a slide job, as Dale Jr. would say.
Yeah, very late slide job. I'm sure Anthony let off the gas there.
Getting the video of that, you're right. I'm sure Anthony wasn't happy about that. Apparently, I think it caused him to check up some, because you see the 41 got a run on that back stretch as well and got up beside him in 3 and 4. Wasn't able to make the pass, but I think it did cause him to have to check up.
Connor Lane seems to be having a little bit of connection issues as he's blinked out on our screen. Going back up to the front, it's still the same running order. Eric Wolf is your leader. Adam de Blasio is in second. Wade Hustad in third. Thomas Herman's in fourth. And Joseph Helt is in fifth, rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, the front 4 nose to tail. Doesn't seem to be anybody really pushing the issue at the moment. Really, it's the top 5. They're just kind of riding. I imagine they're roughly 30, almost 30 laps into this run. So there's Burrows trying to get under de Blasio. That's hard. The car wants to push up to the outside wall coming off 4, and he just about needs the whole track to do it. So hard to make it stick and get enough speed to make the pass on the front stretch.
Now over 60 laps complete. What a drive Eric Wolf is having. It looks like he's able to maintain the lead better on this run than he did on the last run.
I think he may have learned something. I think he realized that he may have burned his tires up a little too quick on that in that first stint.
Oh, Wade Hustad going sideways. He's able to save it. Making contact with the 25 there.
Oh, yeah, he just slid up and barely touched him and turned it down to try to keep off of him. I don't think he hurt the 25. Definitely didn't hurt himself, I don't think. Just other than loss of track position. The main thing he's going to have to make back up now.
Yeah, he gathered it up pretty quickly right behind Joseph Helt. Gonna try to make it all up again as he's looking to his inside now, crushing the line.
There's still half this race to go, James. He's got plenty of time. He don't have to be in no rush. He's got a long run car, so he can just be patient and it'll come back to him.
The man that really helped was Eric Wolf, as that's opened up a half-second lead for Eric, so no more pressure directly on him unless Adam de Blasio is able to make up half a second, as I'm sure we're going to be having those green flag pit stops very shortly.
They'll be sooner than later, that's for sure. I think you can go roughly around 50 laps, I think, on a tank, if I remember correctly. So it depends on if anyone wants to short pit or not. They were halfway through this race now. Hustad's already gotten one position back from Helt. Is closing in on Harmon. But de Blasio has fallen back from Wolf, that's for sure, over the last couple of laps. He's lost about half a second. Still got 16 cars on the lead lap. Half the race to go. I do think that your winner will come out of one of these top 5 cars. I think it'll take something dramatic to change that. Somebody making a mistake and taking a couple of them out, or something like that, for it not to happen. This race is developing a green flag run look to it. Now the green flag stops, as you know, James. It's you can make a mistake real quick through speed, get caught speeding, and put yourself out of contention that way. There's a lot of things that you're out of your control that can happen that you just have to wait and see how things fall.
As we're past the halfway point now in this one, Wade Hustad's trying to get around Thomas Herman to take third away. He doesn't look like he quite has the speed he did earlier. Maybe used up those tires while saving that car, sliding them a bit.
I'm sure it did hurt them a little bit. It's all these cars are probably about even now. They've been on these tires for such a long time. They just have to take what the car will give them at this point. If the car in front doesn't make a mistake, it's going to be very difficult for them to get around that person. The car in front has to kind of make a mistake in the corner and allow that opportunity for that driver behind to jump on it, because the tires are so worn and speeds have slowed down so much at this point. It's like Chris Lucky's already going in early, taking tires a little early, see if he can take advantage of some fresh rubber. That was Burroughs come right up the horn of the bumper, coming off 4 that time.
Looking at our lap times, last lap 6 drivers ran a 32.1, so a lot of this field is pretty evened out. That is the top 5, and then Connor Lane, haven't mentioned a whole lot about him. Who I can't grab a focus of, he might be lagging out actually. He ran a 32.1 as well.
Yeah, they're all about the same right now. It's just no rubber left on those tires.
It does look like Connor Lane did disconnect. He's shown 1 lap down now. He might have fallen through. That's too bad for him. Wade Hustad able to get around Thomas Harmon for third.
You notice they use up the whole track coming off 4 now, trying to maintain any speed they can. We've already had 1 on pit road. The rest of them could start coming anytime. These leaders, the top two I expect to probably go until their tank dry. Third on Hustad probably do the same thing, but anybody from 4th on back, I expect them to try some strategy. You got to try something different. And obviously, new tires can make a 2-second a lap difference from what we're seeing.
Yeah, it looks like 2 seconds is the very solid amount of time between the initial start and up to this point.
You take somebody that's only a second or 2 seconds off the lead, and let's say they get 3 or 4 laps at 2 seconds a lap. You know, if they get 4 laps, that's 8 seconds, and they weren't but 3 or 4, maybe 2, 3 seconds behind. So they made up a 5-second, can create a 5-second gap just by going in and getting tires a couple laps early.
If these drivers are able to make it to at least lap 83, that'll be 50 to go. That should be enough to make it on one final stop.
And that may be what they're trying, some of them are going to try to do. Again, I don't know the exact fuel mileage on what they're getting. Obviously, they end up with more fuel mileage as the run goes on, because your lap times slow down so much. So some of them may be trying to make it on just one stop for the rest of the race. This race is definitely, taking that long green flag run look about it. So they may just determine that's the best way to go. One thing about sim racing is, most of us don't have crew chiefs and spotters to relay us information. You're trying to drive the car, think about pit strategy and race strategy, and when you're a one-man show, that's a lot to try to think about while trying to drive and be competitive at the same time.
Jim Westerfield has come down pit road. Looks like green flag pit stops are starting.
The guys in the back have nothing to lose. Again, if if you're not in that first few top 5, you got to try something. You got to try something different if you want to have an opportunity. Being on the same strategy as the leaders is not going to get you anywhere.
Wade Hustad looking to get around Adam de Blasio. He's slowly creeping in. Last lap, he was faster than him.
Blasio's held his own, though, for this whole run. So hats off to him. He got up to second. He contended, a couple times for the lead, but he's held his own. He's up there running, and getting the experience running up front is you can't beat him. Getting to run, getting used to getting the guys that are regular up front accustomed to racing with you as well. It does look like Wade is searching different lines right now, trying to find some speed to see if which line may be faster. I noticed he has moved up the track. They all seem to be running that second line in 3 and 4, but I did notice Hustad ran a higher line in 1 and 2 last time than de Blasio did.
Taylor Butcher Benjamin, John Mullins coming down pit road this time by. Wade Hustad looking to his inside. I don't think he has enough, though, coming off of turn 4. Not quite enough as Adam's able to shut the door on him, crossing the start-finish line.
So hard at this point to get that run off the bottom. You just don't have, when there's a car outside, you just don't have that track to go up there and use. You end up having to just lift off the throttle some. It looks like de Blasio has moved up the track now and is kind of taking that higher line away from Hustad. They're running the same line. These guys that are pitting now, Taylor Butcher, Benjamin, and John Mullins, I'll be curious to see how they pan out when everything comes full circle and everyone's made their green flag stop. Looks like Wade on the bottom in 1 and 2. Can he make it stick and get enough to close the door on the back stretch?
Not quite enough. They're still side by side now, entering turn 1. That high line is definitely hanging tough. Last lap, Wade Hustad was slightly faster than Adam, but it's not enough to make a significant difference. All top 5 of these drivers are running 32.4s. As we see Chris Lucky in the mix, you can see these fresh tires. Exactly what I was going to say. These fresh tires are just smoking these guys on these older tires.
Yep. And that right there, when you've got somebody with that kind of closing rate, it can create caution. You've got people still up front, like the top, the third, fourth, and fifth that are right there battling for position. And Lucky's not trying to battle; he's just wanting to get by and to move on. But that closing rate sometimes is just unexpected when they get those fresh tires and you start getting in that mix of fast cars and slower cars. I see more on pit lane now. Bill Edwards, Spencer Tartt come down, get their service. What lap did you say we had to go to? We're at 85 of 133 or 86 of 133, so there's less than 50 to go now. So obviously it's not 50 laps. It's not a full run for some of these guys. Or I would think they would already have pitted.
Wade Hustad, Thomas Herman are coming down pit lane now.
Okay, there we go. I'm sure as soon as their fuel window opened up, they would be coming on down. Got to be mistake-free now. You can't speed. Don't want to slide through your box.
Looks like Wade Houston had a perfect entry. Did not slide like he did the first time.
Well, I'm sure he was a little more cautious this time, especially being on their green flag run.
Down and away, Wade Houston, Thomas Herman, both with pretty even stops. 14.23 for Wade Houston, 14.58 for Thomas Herman. As we jump up to our leader, Eric Wolf.
Now Eric's going to have to pit now. Him and De Blasio and Burrows, they're going to have to pit.
Yeah, the longer they wait out, the more time Wade Houston and Thomas Herman's going to gain.
Exactly. It's at this point, it's monkey see, monkey do now. They need to, especially now that the cars that were running right there with them have pitted. There, see, De Blasio's on pit road. So that just leaves Wolf and Burrows, but Burrows is falling back since having that contact with the wall. He's 4.5 seconds behind Wolf.
Wolf still staying out on track.
I don't know what Wolf's strategy is. I guess we'll have to wait and see. He's just going to be giving up so much. He's giving up 2 seconds a lap right now. Now, granted, if a caution comes out, he's going to have a majority of the field a lap down, but they just don't have that look about it. 5 cars on the lead lap right now. Everybody else is a lap down. I guess he may be hoping for that. It's the only strategy I can think of at the moment. I'd like to know the thought process, what's going through his head, staying out like this while everybody else is pitted. Look at Lucky, the 77. He's in a 5th place now. He was the first car to stop. Now, I think he stopped early. He's going to probably have to stop again. But look how much time he made up. He put himself at this point right now, he's in 5th position. There comes Wolf's going in. Burrows coming in.
All right, so now with Eric Wolf and Anthony pitting, let's see how much time Wade Houston's able to make up. Wade Houston is passing them now as they're not even exited pits yet.
Yeah, that's so much time. I mean, he's got to have lost almost half a track worth.
Still waiting for the green flag pit stops to cycle through as Joseph Helt is your leader with 93 laps complete. Richard Lucky's come down pits for his service. Whoa, almost contact there. Mike Lemon able to get around Joseph Helt.
Yeah, Help's on those old tires still, and everybody else is on fresh. Pretty fast closing rate. He's almost like a rolling roadblock kind of at this point. His tires are so old. See, he's going to finally give it up and come on in. That going to put puts the 77 in the lead, doesn't it?
Yes, it will.
And he was the first car down pit road. Now, I think he's going to have to pit again. I don't know if he can finish the race. But you see how much of a difference those fresh tires made at the beginning.
As Wade Hustad is right behind the 77, he looks to be a bit faster than him, too.
Yeah, Hustad's got tires that are probably 15 laps fresher than the 77, but, you know, it's just that's how much track the 77 made up by pitting early. I think he pitted a little too early, but he made up that much track position on with those fresh tires. Now, you know, Wade's got the fresh rubber and fresher rubber, so he's going to easily get by the 77. But the 77, you know, took a gamble. Look how much track position he made up.
Yeah, the 77 has about 17 lap older tires than Wade Hustad, and he's the second slower than Wade Hustad.
And where Wolf's all the way back to ninth right now, all the way back to ninth by staying out that long. And he just is, there's no way he can, I don't think, can overcome that much track position without a caution.
We'll just have to keep an eye on his lap times as he's easily getting around the 38 of Mike Lemon as they head on the back stretch into turn 3. Looking at
a lot. Go ahead, James.
Looking at lap times this time by, Wade Hustad ran a 31.324, and Eric Wolf ran a 30.825. So about half a second faster is Eric Wolf, but I don't know if that's going to be enough time for him to catch and pass Wade Hustad.
It's all those cars he's got to pass, too. And, you know, they're all, as you get about 10 laps, you know, once you get about 10 laps, 10, 15 laps on these tires, they start to, you know, the fall off's not as great. They all start to become more equal. So once these guys like Eric get those 10, 15 fresh laps on those tires, he's going to pick up some speed. Then it's going to balance out. And those guys around him that may have pitted a little bit earlier, there's not going to be enough difference in their lap times. I just don't think he's going to be able to make that much time up. We got 32 laps to go at this point. Hats off to Lucky in the 77. He made a strategic call. He's back to fourth now. I don't think he's going to be able to finish the race, though. But, but again, that's thinking, you got to sometimes think a little bit outside the box and try a different strategy in order to get yourself some track position. And it paid off for him there for a while. I just think he pitted a little too early. Burrows is back 10th now. Burrows, since he hit the wall, it messed his car up enough. He just isn't the same now. I just don't think anybody's going to be able to touch Wade at this point. I mean, he's got a 2-second lead over Harmon, a 4-second lead over de Blasio, and their tires are close enough that I just don't think they're going to be able to make that much time up on him.
Laps are ticking down. Wade Hustad in a comfortable 2.2-second lead over Thomas Herman. Adam Blasio, who was running second for most of this race, is currently in third, 2 seconds behind Thomas Herman.
Yeah, still a good run for de Blasio. You don't have to always have a win to, take first place for it to be a win. sometimes just having a good run and a good finish can be a win in itself. So hats off to him. He's definitely having a good run tonight. One of the newer members, not haven't been running with the Cup Series and Dynasty racing for very long. So good showing for him tonight. Clean race, good race. I noticed Connor Lanes must be back on the track. He's a long way back. Somehow still on the lead lap, but that connection issue earlier hurt him big time. Last car on the lead lap. Eric Wolf has drove back up to 5th so far. Burrows in 9th now, Tarts in 10th. Hustad's actually starting to pull away a little bit. He's up to a 2.2 second lead now over Thomas Harmon. If anything, I think maybe de Blasio might be starting to reel Harmon in just a little bit.
The one thing Wade Hustad does not want to see right now is that caution flag.
Oh, you're right about that, James. He does not want to see that with almost a 2.5 second lead, comfortable lead. He's in cruise control. He's being mindful of not over-abusing his tires or anything, and definitely doesn't want that caution flag to come out and bunch that field back up. That'll be a game changer. Everybody will hit pit road. Everybody will get fresh rubber. I think your battle here for long is going to be for second place. De Blasio is catching Harmon. Harmon's starting to drop by. I'm noticing the gap starting to widen between him and Hustad. The gap's maintained close to the same between de Blasio and Hustad. So that means that de Blasio is getting closer on to that bumper to Harmon. There's going to be a battle for second coming up for too much longer. Eric Wolf's back up to 4th place. He's still 6 seconds back. He's giving it a strong run. What's the lap times look like, James, between Hustad and Eric?
Last lap, Wade Hustad ran a 31.838, and Eric Wolf ran a 31.722.
So there's only a tenth difference now in lap times. That ain't enough time.
Chris Lucky pitted. We mentioned that he was on 17-lap older tires. He has decided to pit with a little over 20 laps to go.
Yeah, I just didn't think he was, from when he pitted, I didn't think he was going to be able to make it all the way. He went with a different strategy, didn't get a caution. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. He just tried something. Things seem to stabilize a little bit now between the gap between Harmon and de Blasio for second and third. Hustad still about 2.5 seconds ahead. He's got a comfortable lead. We're going to have it's going to be about 100 lap by the time this thing ends. If we don't have a caution, James, we're going to be about 100 lap green flag run. Last caution was somewhere around 30 to 35, somewhere in there maybe.
Yeah, these guys doing a great job tonight. I know the field size is a little smaller than normal. Hopefully that number will be back up in the 20s next week.
Yeah, it's that time of the year. People on vacation and stuff. You never know from one week to the next if you're going to have a large field or a small field. That's just part of league racing when it's vacation time. That's for sure.
Absolutely. These guys spend a lot of time with their families, and it's much needed. The kids are out from school. Now's the time to go on vacation.
Some of them, this might be their vacation, getting to come on here for a couple hours, once a week. Well, I see. Look at that. The gap is starting to widen again. Hustad's now got about 2.8 seconds over Harmon. De Blasio's still sitting about 4.2 back, so that gap is closing between De Blasio and Harmon. I think De Blasio sees that, and I think he's gunning for Harmon in that second place finish. About 20 laps to go.
Taking a look at Joseph Helt, currently ninth. Was top 5 majority of tonight, and ended up back here with ninth. No one who really passed. This might be his settling position for the night.
Yeah, you know, he waited to take those tires, and kind of like Eric did, and I just think that's, you know, they just give up too much track position with those fresh tires and a 2-second difference in new rubber and old rubber. Starting to see the gap still about the same. Now Harmon's about almost now 3 seconds back from Hustad. But that means that gap continues to close down between Harmon and De Blasio to battle for second. That's where the battle's going to be as this race comes to a close.
Absolutely no pressure on Wade Hustad. He just has to continue to hit his marks, and he'll finish out this race with his 4th victory of the season.
Yeah, and this race wasn't his. He had to come back and take it. He had the mishap on pit road, and then the restart. So when restart got him a little bit behind, but so he had to drive up and take it. This wasn't just his race. It was Eric's race for the first 2/3 of it. Still got, 15 cars on the lead lap. Still a good run tonight, good showing, good race by these guys overall. They had a few incidents in the very beginning, just some mishaps. Been green flag since around lap 35. Around the green flag pit stops would really kind of strung this race out a little bit. Some guys choosing to run a full tank load. Other guys choosing to pit early to take on fresh rubber. Trying to gain advantage of fresh rubber where it can make up 2 seconds a lap. Hustad pitted before Harmon, De Blasio, and Eric Wolf, and that seems to be the difference maker. Those getting out on those fresh tires got him a comfortable about a 1.5, 2-second lead, and he's been on cruise control ever since as we wind down with about 13, 14 to go. But if you look back there at that second and third, that gap is starting to close, getting a little closer. Only about a second separating second and third now. Wade continues just to be on cruise control, riding around. He has extended his lead, almost doubled it since this last round of green flag pit stops. Harmon hasn't been able to maintain that same pace as Wade has. Starting to fall back a little closer to the clutches of De Blasio, number 25 and third. Eric Wolf gave it a good run, got back to fourth, but still almost 7 seconds back because he just waited so long to make that pit stop. Gave up so much track position, he just couldn't overcome it.
Going to be 10 to go this time by for Wade Hustad.
To go. No cars in right behind him. No cars. Open, clean track in front of him. As a driver, this is what you want to see. Easy peasy, race to the win. As fans, you're like, this is not what I want to see. But as a driver, I promise you, this is what you want to see. This is the kind of track you want around you as you come to the closing. And everything that you've raced this whole race for has come true. You've gotten a clean track. You got a nice gap. He's got almost 4 seconds. Harmon's falling back. He's almost 4 seconds back. Unfortunately, I think de Blasio's done burned his tires up. He's still a second back from Harmon. Hasn't been able to close that gap anymore. I'm curious to see here in a second. Wolf's now 7.4 back, so he can't make up any more time. He's done burned up his tires.
If a caution comes out here, this is going to be a wild finish like they had in real life.
You ain't kidding there. That's I think Wade's going, no. And then fresh tires are a great equalizer. And right now he's just, even on his cruise control, he's still just putting a tremendous, extending his lead. And nobody's got anything for him. He had the fastest long run car all night. He's showing it even on this run. He's been able to extend his lead, more than double it from what he had when this stint started. So he showed that early. Eric Wolf controlled the first 2/3 of this race, but again, differing strategies on that pit call. That's what made the difference in this race. I was hoping for a little bit better, closer battle for second place, but I think de Blasio's just give it all he had, trying to close that gap, and burned up the tires he had, and it's kind of equalized about a second. They're both steadily falling back from Hustad, but the gap between Harmon and Blasio has been maintaining about a second now for the last 10, 15 laps. Showing 5:4 to go on my screen.
3 more times around Kentucky, and Wade Hustad will have his 4th win of the year.
Way to a comfortable, almost 5-second lead. He's continued to stretch his lead out, even on old tires, while others have fallen off the pace. Nobody had anything for Wade tonight in the long run. He overcome some obstacles with a mishap on pit road and restart that didn't quite go his way. A car in front of him kind of got checked up, missed a shift or something, but overcame that and has drove off to a comfortable lead tonight. And barring any unforeseen cautions, a comfortable race win. told you that the winner was going to come out of that top 5. Wasn't sure how things were going to play out, but all but Burrows, and Burrows is back there around, was he in about 6th, 7th?
Yeah, Anthony Burrows currently in 6th.
Yeah, he had that, that brush with the wall, and that kind of done him in for this race, but the rest of them are all still there.
Coming off of turn 4, Wade Hustad is going to win tonight at Kentucky for his 4th win of this year. Great job by Wade Hustad. Thomas Harmon will come home 2nd. Adam Blasio 3rd. Eric Wolf will be 4th. 5th goes to Bill Edwards. A fantastic job by Bill. 6th will go to Anthony Burrows. 7th, Mike Lemon. 8th will be Joseph Helt. 9th, Richard Lucky. And Spencer Tarr will round out the top 10.
Good run by everybody tonight. Good, long, clean flag run. You enjoy those as a driver, those long, because you feel like you're getting to race, and you can put things into play, strategy and stuff.
Alright, as Wade Hustad's burning it down. Let's see if we can pull him in for an interview. Hey, Wade Hustad, this is the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, Wade, a fantastic green flag finish. A little over 100 laps, or just about 100 laps. Do you think pit strategy is what won you this race?
It definitely was a part of how we got that win tonight, but I think a lot of it had to do with conserving those tires for the longer run. I know a lot of people were pushing it with that draft initially in the first 5 or 10 laps, but saving those tires really paid off. And when it was go time for me, 20, 30 laps in, I could really get a 10th or 2 on some of those guys. So it was a fun race tonight. It actually was pretty cool to see, Adam and Eric go with a little bit different pit strategy there, pit a little bit later, and hopefully have those tires bring them back up front. But we're able to maintain that gap and actually pull away that last stint there. So I couldn't ask for much more. It's a fun track, and I gave up going to a concert tonight so I could race, and I'm glad I stayed here to race it out.
Well, that was a heck of a show. David Wright, do you have anything for him?
No, Wade, you definitely had the long run speed tonight, watching it from the booth and making your pit stop earlier. That was 2 seconds a lap when you had fresh rubber, which, gave you a little bit of a gap where you could utilize that long run speed. And then as the race went on there at the end, you just kept extending it. You more than doubled your lead there towards the end. So you definitely conserved the tires and overcome a couple obstacles, the incident on pit road and then the mishap. It was like it was a slip up with Anthony or somebody on that restart. He may have missed a gear, missed a shift, something, got you set back. But you definitely drove a good race tonight. My hat's off to you.
Hey, David, I appreciate it. And there was that one point in time, too, where Adam and I were racing really tough going into 3 and 4. Got me sideways and lost a spot or 2, but I appreciate the kind words, and hopefully we carry this momentum into next week.
Good deal. Great race.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Alrighty, Wade, before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for being up in the booth, especially you, David, for joining JP tonight. I just want to throw it out to Thomas, Adam, Eric, Bill, Anthony, and Mike Lemon, Joe. A lot of those guys were super fast tonight. This field was pretty stacked. I was looking forward to the race, and I knew it was going to be good. So I just want to thank all the drivers for showing up week after week.
Alrighty, we'll catch you next week at New Hampshire. Enjoy this win number 4 of the year, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good night.
That was Wade Hustad, tonight's winner. Let's see if we can pull in Thomas Harmon of S2 iRacing. Hey, Thomas Harmon, this is Broadcast Booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, 10-4, I got you.
Well, Thomas, you've had a heck of a couple weeks, a heck of a season, and tonight you bring it home second after starting in eighth. Walk us through tonight.
I didn't get much practice until mowing the lawn right up until about 5-10 minutes before the qualifying, but took a little bit of an adjustment period to get used to running in the car, and I'm sure it showed. Middle of myself right around fifth, and then it was just tough to pass tonight, and especially with this package and the drivers that we have here. Everybody knows how to defend, everybody knows how to block, and run defensively. But me and Wade short pit, kinda, and took the lead in second from there, and I knew with him ahead of me, and I raced against him last night in the race, I knew he was just gone. There was not going to be anything I could do short of him wrecking.
If a caution... Oh, go on, David, sorry.
Oh, yeah, Thomas, you and Wade did kind of, I don't know how much, I wasn't exactly sure on the fuel run for this race, but I did notice, you stopped quite a few laps sooner than Eric and Helt did, and it did play a part and helped y'all quite a bit, get some track position. Those fresh tires, it's 2 seconds a lap, and I was really concerned there. You maintained right behind Hustat for a while, and then I started seeing you fall back in de Blasio. I thought de Blasio was going to have a chance to come in and contend with you for second, but luckily he fell off too, and you maintained. So an excellent run tonight for you.
Thank you, sir.
What I was going to say, Thomas, is if there was a caution, late race caution, do you think you would have had something for Wade, or do you think he would have had that win no matter what happened?
A late race caution would have just been a crapshoot at that point. It would have been like the real race. You wouldn't have known he was going to come out where, and I think that would have just led to another quick caution. But I'm glad that late race caution didn't come, and glad to finish where I did.
All right.
Thomas, did you have better short run speed tonight or long run speed for you?
I'd say more mid run.
Mid run.
Yeah, I knew that those guys could work it a little bit better than I could on the short run, or at least I couldn't go do better than them, but maybe match them, but nothing that would have gotten me past on the short run.
Right.
And
I got
long run, we just didn't really get it. So
I understand. Good race tonight, though. Good race.
Thank you.
Do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Yep. Shout out to all my teammates at S2R. Work together every week, help each other out. You guys up in the broadcast booth and all the DRL admins and race control. The fans and the competitors that come out each week to meet you up in the spotter booth, and Apple on that.
All right, Thomas. Well, hopefully you keep that hot streak you got going alive throughout the rest of the summer, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, I'll be there. Have a good one, guys.
You say.
All right, last but not least, let's see if we can pull in our third place finisher. Here he is. Hey, Adam, this is the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
I do. Do you got me this time?
Yes, sir. Sorry about that a couple of weeks ago, but it's
That's
fixed, and here you are, live on DRL TV, starting in 10th tonight, coming home third. Walk us through your race.
I messed up my qualifying lap, and I knew traffic would be an issue, and I picked off 3 on the initial start before that first caution came out on the backstretch, so 2 of the cars having issues helped with 2 of the 3 cars I picked off. Then I think I picked off 1 or 2 more, and then I settled down in 5th place behind the O2, and the aero push was so bad that I just had to stay behind him, and I couldn't really do much with him. Then pit stops happened, and I restarted 3rd, was able to get to 2nd, and the 24, Eric, he did a really good job paying attention to what I was doing in his mirror because I was behind him by 6 or 7 tenths of a second, and I moved up a lane, and I kept slowly picking off a tenth here, a tenth there, and then he looked up probably and saw that, and he moved up right in front of me, and it just took the air right off my nose, and there goes that downforce, and I got so aero tight, and then Wade caught us and got by me, and then just pit strategy. Apparently at Kentucky, first one that pits gets to win the race. Tires I thought would matter a whole lot more, but I shout out to Wade for calling that pit strategy, and the 68 in front of me, same one. I was running him down. If I had like probably 5 to 8 more laps, I could have gotten him, but finally got a podium, didn't mess up, and didn't get wrecked. So first clean race, but I decided to push it off from turn 2 on the final lap, trying to get the 68, and I smacked the wall. But oh well.
Yeah, it looked like the difference between fresh tires and tires near the end of a run was about 2.5 seconds difference between fresh and old. But you had a heck of a race tonight, and David, right, do you have anything for him?
No, good race, Adam. We watched you throughout the race, work your way through the field, and we knew, James and I knew in the booth, that pit strategy, if this thing stayed green like it did, that the pit strategy was going to play a part. Eric Wolf, who, led 2/3 of the race, waited till the very end of pit. And, you're giving up 2.5 seconds a lap. And I don't necessarily think that, because Wade pitted first, well, it might have been. Wade had very good long run speed tonight. I was watching you and Thomas Harmon for the last 20 or 25 laps, and I was watching that gap close down and really thought you was going to get him there. And then it kind of leveled off as the tires, really started to wear further the run went there at the end. But we were watching you. You had a good run tonight. Congratulations on that. And just hats off to you for an excellent. I know, as I told James, you don't have to win for it to be a win. And tonight's a win for you regardless. So my hat's off to you for it.
Yeah, thanks. Just the plateau of tire fall off just got me at the wrong time, and I'm surprised Eric didn't come up and drive to get me. He started plateauing and he got within 2 seconds of me and couldn't do anything. So
I think he was put so far back when he finally got out of the pits. He was about 10th. I think he was really trying to get back up, and I think really abused his tires early and could not overcome that track position. That's a lot, 2.5 seconds a lap, and he was 10, 15 laps behind some of y'all pitting. That's a lot. That's a lot to give up.
Yeah, it was an interesting race. If anything else, I definitely learned a lot for Kentucky. Unfortunately, we only come here once a year, but next week is Loudon, my home track. I'll be going to the real race, so pretty excited about New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Yes, I'm sure you are.
Yep.
All righty, Adam. Well, any shout-outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Not a lot. JP, thank you for allowing me to be in this league on short notice, and thank you to you two for broadcasting the race. I'll be watching it. I watched the Chicagoland race and the Daytona race. Guys did a good job up there in the booth. And
hey, just don't pick on me. I was behind the whole race on the View, and I'm a rookie broadcaster, so you just can't pick on me. That's all.
All right, so I'll make sure I pick on you.
All right, if you're picking on me, you're leaving James alone, so it's all good.
No, but usually John's here, but I don't know where he was. He probably told me he wasn't gonna make it at some point, but he's usually a good teammate along with Nathan. But yeah, fun race, definitely.
All right, Adam. Well, great finish once again, and hopefully we'll see you next week at New Hampshire, and you can represent your home track, and hopefully we'll see you in Victory Lane.
10-4 on that. New England represent.
All righty, man. Have a great night. Alrighty, that was our third place finisher. As we take a quick look at tonight's unofficial results, we have Wade Hustad winning, leading 45 laps tonight. Thomas Harmon finishing in second. Adam de Blasio, who we just spoke to, comes home third. Eric Wolf leading 84 laps, the most laps tonight, finishing in fourth. And Bill Edwards rounds out the top five. Anthony Burrows started second tonight. He comes home sixth. Mike Lemon seventh. Joseph Helt eighth. Richard Lucky ninth. And Spencer Tart finishes out the top 10. Jim Westerfield comes home 11th, Taylor Butcher Benjamin 12th, Chris James 13th, John Mullins 14th, Chris Lucky 15th, one lap down. Connor Lane, who had some connection issues early in the race, finishes 17 laps down. Gary Cronenwett, 122 laps down, finishes 17th. He was involved in that very first wreck on lap 1. Logan in the 88 finishes 18th, 129 laps down. And Jeffrey Meyer, I don't believe actually gridded tonight, finishes 19th. Taking a look at the point standings before tonight's race, Thomas Harmon, Wade Hustad, who now has 4 wins, and Chris Lucky all had 3 before tonight. Logan McConnelly in the 88 also had 3 wins. Anthony Burrows is now tied with Wade Hustad for the most wins on the year with 4, and Caden Honeycutt also had a win on this season. Taylor Butcher Benjamin is the highest non-win points driver in the series. Joseph Hell, Mike Springer, Richard Lucky, Jim Westfield, Dustin Musil, and Spencer Tart round out the top 10 in the point standings.
Quite a few of those top 10 drivers, weren't here tonight.
Yeah, as we stated earlier in the broadcast, I'm sure vacation time, family time had a lot to do with it. Hopefully we'll see him back next week at New Hampshire, Monday, July 22nd, 2019 at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll be in New England for the New Hampshire 150 laps at the 1.058-mile track. It's a flat track. It's going to be quite interesting to see how these guys do on this 1 mile flat track.
They'll have full horsepower.
Yeah,
they won't be under the tapered spacer or whatever they call it next week.
That is true, and that's something these guys are going to have to practice and get back used to, being under all that power versus this 500 horsepower they got right now.
Exactly.
The next broadcast, which is tomorrow night on DRL TV, will be the Kentucky 175 for the DRL iRacing Grand National Series, Tuesday, July 16th, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 117 laps here at Kentucky under the lights. Be sure to tune in for that one. Both me and David Wright will be racing in that one.
I'll be there. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Real quick, looking at our credits, thank you to James Pandoff for owning and running Dynasty Racing League. Thank you to James Pandoff for financial support. Graphics, thank you to Martin Wenzel and Jordan Gonzalez for all these graphics you see on our website, Facebook, the overlays you see here on DRL TV. These guys do a phenomenal job with those graphics. They also produce the technical side of things. Thank you to James Pandoff for marketing. Broadcasting, thank you to everybody who broadcasts on DRL TV, David Wellborn Jr., Taylor Butch Benjamin, Martin Wenzel, Getty Buckner, James Pandoff, Ryan Branch did the Cup Series early in the season. Thank you to Spencer Tart, who's been broadcasting with the Truck Series lately. Mike Springer's been with us for a few times, and thank you, David Wright, for joining us tonight. Hope it was a lot of fun for you.
Yeah, I got in late. I got in late. I didn't get all set up as I wanted to with everything, but enjoyed it. I really did.
Thank you to everybody who race controls: Martin Wenzel, Getty Buckner, James Pandoff, Robbie Armstrong, Dakota Wilkins, Ryan Hesgard, Jeremy Hebel, Richard Springer, Eric Weatherholtz, David Wright. You've race controlled a few races this season. Thank you very much for taking your time and helping us.
Absolutely. I'll be there Wednesday night if they need me as well.
And then finally, thank you to all the admins in the league: James Pandoff, Getty Buckner, Martin Wenzel, Ryan Branch, and Dave Wilborn Jr. for helping this league run and improve each and every week. Once again, Wade Hustad is your winner tonight, leading 45 laps. Thank you all for tuning in to the Kentucky 200, the DRL iRacing Cup Series. We'll see you next week for New Hampshire. Have a great night, everybody.